That photo and the racist and offensive attitudes it represents does not reflect that person I am today or the way that I have conducted myself as a soldier, a doctor, and a public servant.
Governor Ralph Northam tonight asking for your forgiveness after admitting he's one of the people in this racist photo. And that is our top story at 11. Thanks for staying up. I'm David Allen. This story is dominating headlines across the country. And since the story broke this evening, a lot has happened. And a lot more people are calling for the governor to resign. At issue, a racist photo from his EVMS yearbook page. It shows one person in blackface, the other dressed as a member of the KKK. It is not clear which one is the governor. Tonight, the calls for resignation are growing louder, and they're coming from both sides of the aisle. Congresswoman Elaine Luria, the Virginia State Conference of the NAACP, and the Republican Party of Virginia are among those telling Governor Northam to step down. Robert Boyd starts us off tonight.
Now, this didn't come up in the campaign, but I would be willing to bet you that his campaign knew about it and were prepared for it to come up.
The timing of this photo being released publicly couldn't be worse for Governor Ralph Northam, according to 13 News Now political analyst Quentin Kidd.
Not only is this a real problem for the governor just because it's a real problem, but it's also happening around the country right now.
Kidd referenced former Florida Secretary of State Michael Ertel's resignation last month, when a 15-year-old picture of him at a party in blackface suddenly surfaced. Then there were the two University of Oklahoma students who left school after posting a video on social media of one of them in blackface.
People are resigning from offices and they're being punished on college campuses for this very thing happening right now.
Kidd says it's similar to when former Senator Al Franken resigned for alleged sexual misconduct in the height of the Me Too movement. Kidd says this photo isn't going away, and neither will the pressure for Northam to step down.
So that makes me wonder whether Governor Northam is going to resign like people are calling him on to resign just right now. Now, he may eventually, but I'm not certain that we're going to get action like that quickly.
And Robert, we've yet to hear from a number of key voices on this.
A couple big names out there yet to weigh in, David, including Congressman Bobby Scott and Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. Obviously, both of them powerful Democrats here in Virginia, and both of them are African Americans, and yet we haven't heard any statements from them yet. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say in the next couple days.
All right, Robert, thank you. We ask you online if you think Governor Northam should step down in light of the photo. More than half of you say yes, the governor must resign. If Governor Northam were to resign, who would take his place? Well, that'd be Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, again, who has yet to speak on this matter. Another call for resignation, this time from Representative Donald McEachin. As Robert just mentioned, he notes Virginia's long and ugly history with racism. Former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper also calling for Northam to resign. He says this photo may not be the sum of who Ralph Northam is, but there's no doubt that the right thing for him to do as a leader is to step down, end quote. Planned Parenthood also calling for the governor to step down. The group says there is no place for the governor's racist actions or language in our democracy or our country. It's never been a secret that Ralph Northam's resume is one of service. He was the top of the ticket in 2017, elected Virginia's 73rd governor by a wider margin than many expected. Ralph Northam ushering in a new day in Richmond with a younger and more diverse legislature, running a campaign that featured a blistering attack on President Trump.
I think he's a narcissistic maniac.
But today, Northam could not run from this photo, his 1984 EVMS yearbook picture. The image now very much threatening the political career of a man well-liked on both sides of the aisle. Before politics, Northam, a VMI honors graduate, served as an Army medical doctor and later as a pediatric neurologist at Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters. Northam called the Eastern Shore home, raised on a farm. In 2007, in his first try at politics, Ralph Northam represented Virginia's 6th Senate District. He later went on to be lieutenant governor before setting his eyes on the state's highest office. Now, just a year after his swearing in, Governor Northam faces a crisis of his own making, one that very well might bring down his political career and tarnish his reputation. Here's a little context. Race has played a big role in Virginia politics in recent years. The state elected L. Douglas Wilder as governor, the first African-American in the nation to be elected to that office. Northam's current lieutenant governor is Justin Fairfax, the second black man to hold that office. Wilder was the first. No doubt you remember August 2017, the riots in Charlottesville. They put race in Virginia in the national spotlight again. Worth noting, at the time, Northam called for the removal of Confederate statues, saying they should be placed in museums. He has not made any moves as governor to make that happen. So here's the bottom line. Governor Northam says he's staying put, at least for now, despite calls for his resignation. He says, yes, he's one of the two people in that photo found in an EVMS yearbook. In a statement, Northam says he is, quote, deeply sorry for his decision to appear in the photo. There are still a lot of questions in this story. Trust 13 News Now to get you the answers. We're staying on top of this story on air, online, and on the go. Let's switch gears and get a check of your forecast. Check this out. Snow fell on parts of the eastern shore today. The horses at Assateague enjoying the snow. This is what it looked like from our sky view in Wachapreague. You can see the snow showers left behind some slick roads. Other areas got a light dusting. Christina Avery sent this video from Woods Crossroads in Gloucester. And live outside now to downtown Norfolk. The system has moved out and it leads to big changes this weekend. Let's send it over to the chief.
Yeah, we have a major front across the area. Actually, still a couple of sprinkles. Doesn't look like they're probably reaching the ground down across areas of Gates County and over toward Hertford County. But look at the highs today. We were up into the 50s, right up to about the bridge, the HRBT. North of that, it stayed in the 40s. Then we had 30s. And of course, once that front came through, which happened early afternoon, it started to drop those readings. And right now, we have seen most areas really drop again to some cold levels, still in the 20s off to the north like it was when I was on during the dinner hour. We've dropped to below freezing on the peninsula, right at freezing here across the south side, and then in North Carolina, not quite as cold, or even south side areas around Chesapeake and over toward Franklin, but pretty close to it. You can see some of these other readings, 42 in Duck, 42 Elizabeth City, but a big range right now, almost 20 degrees from north to south. So what happens over the next 12 hours? Well, temperatures don't drop much at the beaches. They stay right around freezing, probably 31, 32, and then they slowly start to climb as we get into tomorrow. I'm going to actually lower the temperatures again. It's going to be a pretty big spread tomorrow, but I'm going to lower them just a tiny bit from what I said earlier. Far inland areas dropping to around the upper 20s to near 30, and then starting to climb. But with that front around, we're going to see these big swings. Tomorrow, again, anywhere from 36 far to the north to probably 53 or 4 to the south. So we'll average it out, call it 46. And then we creep up a little bit with still a spread on Monday. And then it keeps going up, but a front comes through, drops us back, and then we go back up again. Some of those fronts will create some precipitation. I'll break that all down for you coming back.
Jeff, thanks. Don't forget, we're keeping you updated on the 13 News Now app. It's backed by the same technology Jeff uses to bring you the certified most accurate forecast. Find it for free in your app store. Now to Virginia Beach, and a new way for jail inmates to communicate with family and friends. All new tonight, Janu Her shows us how it works.
6 months after they rolled in, these tablets are finally up and running at the Virginia Beach jail.
And the tablet's sort of like any other tablet. It's got apps on it and icons.
250 of them, all to provide more services to inmates, from education and entertainment to communication with loved ones. That includes video chatting and text messaging.
Due to space and time block requirements, visits are only allowed on site. Each inmate's allowed one visit for 25 minutes once a week. On the tablet visit, they can visit more frequently.
Premium features on the tablets start at 3 cents a minute, web visitation at 25 cents a minute.
The tablets actually are paying for themselves. The usage fees pay for the tablets and the infrastructure.
That's good news for taxpayers. As for safety, Chief Deputy Thompson says all activity is monitored and recorded.
Almost all of them are going to end up coming back. So it's important that they still be a member of society. It's important that they stay active.
Right, Chanu's live in the newsroom for us tonight. And Chanu, what does this mean for traditional visits?
Well, David, the sheriff's office tells me that right now traditional visits will stay the same. The tablets just add to how inmates can communicate with loved ones.
The nationwide manhunt that ended on Virginia's Northern Neck. Dakota Terrio confessing to killing 5 people in Louisiana, including his own parents. He was later caught in Richmond County. Terrio was quiet in court this morning, joined by some of his family. His court-appointed attorney calls the 21-year-old unassuming.
Talking with them, you would think that you're sitting there next to just any other guy.
In court, Terrio waived extradition. He's headed back south to face a judge on the charges. Now to a developing story on the Eastern Shore. Flames tear through a mobile home, killing a child and 2 adults. State police tell us it happened in Nelsonia in Accomack County. 13 News Now was there as investigators comb for clues, looking for anything that might help them understand what sparked the fire. So far, state police tell us they have ruled out arson.